Greetings, citizens, and welcome to another episode of Mars versus Venus. I am your host with the most, What's in Store with Timur. And we got a fantastic show for you today. Great show topics, awesome questions, and a phenomenal cast of characters. They're co-hosts, so let's start introductions from left to right. Let's do it.
Josh Hammond.
Natasha.
Voice of Reason.
There it is. People, today's show is no different from the others. We're going to start this show off with haymakers. I tell you. Just going to dive right into it. Take this scenario. If you were an employer, would you reject or dismiss someone's application because of their name? Anybody can take it.
No. I mean, I would take someone regardless. They could have a crazy name. I'm going to take them because, like, that... Why not? I mean, just they could be the best worker you've ever seen, and their parents were just funny people, I guess, or something. Yeah. I mean, hey, it ain't nothing too bad.
How about you, Natasha?
I would say no because I have a different name, and so I've gotten discriminated against because of my name. So I wouldn't personally do it until I got to meet the person, and then if you don't prove to me that you qualified for the job, then yeah, you gotta go, but not just on your name, no.
How about you, Reggie?
No, I wouldn't, man, because I actually had a teacher one time. His name was Color. His first name was Color Stewart. His last name was Stewart. His name was Color Stewart, man. So, after that, I don't discriminate against names. And Tasha's whole incident is because her parents, they forgot what they were going to name her. They had her, they was like, what was her name? We were going to name her Natasha.
That's what it was. But hey, there's no other likeness, so.
I'll tell you, there's definitely a different name, a unique name, but you wear it well.
Mm-hmm.
And you are one and only.
I am.
Okay, now, last Friday, we got into a great debate. I mean, it was a smoking topic. We actually was talking about the Matt Barnes and Derek Fisher situation on since1974radio.com. Shameless plug. We were talking about that situation and trying to figure out who was right, who was wrong. If you've been living up under a rock, everybody should know the situation by now. It's like when you're in high school, college, and make it to the pro level, you're playing on the same team with someone, you build a brotherhood. You trust this guy, you spend a lot of time with this guy, or guys on the team. More time that you spend with your family. And evidently, they had to get close. He entrusted this man, Matt Barnes entrusted Derek Fisher to be his twin's godfather. So they had to spend a lot of time together.
Right.
He must have looked at Derek Fisher as an outstanding human being, somebody that he would trust, somebody that he would have his kids look at as a role model. And to go and double back and mess around with his ex-wife, I just wanted to get you guys' take on that situation. Anybody can take it.
Man, that's messed up. Because, that's your homie, first off. Second off, if you're both married, that ain't cool. You should never cheat. Even if someone else is married and you're not, you shouldn't cheat on someone who is married. Because that's ruining lives. Realistically, that's ruining two people's lives right there. And that's something you really shouldn't do. And because then that puts guilt on your head rather than anyone else's, I feel.
Okay, I get your point. Great point. How about you, Natasha?
My opinion is there's an unwritten law in friend zones and family. You don't mess with family members of friends. You don't mess with exes. You don't baby dads. You just don't do it because it causes too many problems like in this situation. And now not only are you not thinking of your friend, you're not thinking of the children as well because this child has known you as Uncle so-and-so or your godfather or whatever. Now the kid's but you sleep in mom's room now. So that's also confusing the children as well. So I don't think it's right.
What's your take on it, Adrian?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing, man. That's breaking the doggone code.
Yeah.
If you're supposed to be boys, see if y'all was associates and you kind of knew each other, that's still not cool, but I understand it better. But no, if you're somebody's godfather, that's that's like being family without the actual bloodline. You know what I mean?
True.
No, man, it's just certain stuff you don't do. But it's like this generation, and then people's mindset now is totally different. They look at it, it's whatever, man. That just shows people's mentality towards loyalty, and that shows people have a mentality of just greed, man. Like there's other females you could talk to and mess with.
Absolutely, I totally agree on that one. It's just wrong all the way around the board when you look at it. I mean, on both parts, I blame her as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Not just Derek, but it takes
She
two.
knew better than to
Absolutely.
go there.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just the wrong thing to do. It was like, that's what you call the biggest backstabber. You know, it's you can't trust that guy for nothing in the world. Here's another scenario, and I want you guys to really think about this because so many people get caught up on stereotypes. What's your guys' take on homosexuality in the music industry, and preferably rap music, hip hop, and R&B? What's your thoughts? Because just say you really like a song, us being men, the current artist is a homosexual. How would you feel about if you really like the song? Would you be blasting it, singing it word for word like you do your favorite song that you're really into? Or would you just, would it be one of those songs that you played when no one's around? When no one is around, and you kind of got your own little time to yourself. Anybody can take it.
Man, people be blowing this way out of proportion because like example like with Frank Ocean.
Yeah.
He came out.
Yeah.
That was a very bold move.
Absolutely.
He was the first person to do that in the rap industry. Like that's a very big step, especially now with how everything's changing in the world when it comes to that.
Yeah.
With the homosexuality in general. But for people to not like his music anymore just because of what he views as himself as an actual human being outside of the music world, I think that that's really stupid. Like, if you like the song and then you found out that like he's gay or something like that, like you shouldn't not like him anymore. Like, if you were bumping that, still bump it. Like, you shouldn't be worried about like what people are judging on you about because like just because he is, you know.
Let me ask you this. Now, he was one of your favorite artists. It could be anybody, and you was feeling his song. Then he actually comes out afterwards, after he reached success. Would you sing his song a little differently? Say his verse was like, "Yeah, I'm going down the street," and then he comes out. Would you sing it more aggressively? "Yeah, I'm going down the street."
I don't think it's gonna change his perspective.
Change your approach.
Not at all, because that's like you trying to change the song. You know what I mean?
More
Like,
masculine.
Would you sing it naked? Just get
Or in the shower.
now
In
that
the
I don't know
shower.
if I would. That definitely wouldn't probably be a shower tune because I'd probably be in the back of my mind like, man, this is Frank Ocean. I don't know if I can really get into this right now because if this is what he had intended for, then he's winning right now. And I can't let him do that, you know. But like, as far as like bumping him in the car or something like that, like he has hits, you know, like he still has hits regardless, and people are still going to continue to like his music because throughout it all, he's still a good singer.
Yeah.
You know, that's like if Usher were to come out and say he was gay.
He just got married again.
People would still listen to Usher because it's Usher. You know what I mean? Like I don't see like, you know, having a homosexuality thing
I
or
think I
not.
look at Love in the Club in a different way.
I would definitely look at Love in the Club a different way.
What's your take on it, Matasha?
That's it. Well, it would depend on the actual song. Like, I mean, if it's a love song, I'm gonna take it in a different way, and I'm not gonna make sure I dedicate that song to anybody that I care about because it's gonna have a totally different meaning. But I mean, I don't personally care if they're homosexual or not. I mean, but I guess it's different because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Guys, it hits your guys' egos differently than it does a woman. We're just kind of like whatever.
Right.
If she's, you know, bisexual and all that. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
What's your take on it, Age?
I think it has to do with like lyrical content of the song. Like, as long as it's not something offending or anything, I listen to it. Because the reality is, I'm not gonna listen to that. Because my thing is, your sexual preference and lifestyle doesn't dictate or have any control over your work as a craftsman, you know what I mean?
Right.
As a person that produces this music. So, whatever you do, once you leave the studio, that's up to you.
Right.
Or in the studio when the recorder's not recording, or, however that goes. But
and I believe that it all depends on who the artist is.
Right.
Because, like I said, we all have our stereotypes and we all have our our judgments. If somebody like Prince came out and said he was bisexual, or you'd be
yeah, totally.
And you respect his
Right.
music as crap. But if
Right.
it was somebody like Ice Cube or Scarface or DMX, and then you would kind of look at it.
DMX came out.
They were my fantasy.
But
That's why he's so angry.
Then again, he might even start. DMX came out. He might even start selling more records because that's more of like a prison gig.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's
he might
very
get some cats,
true.
Yeah.
like just came off a D block,
Right, that's
Oh,
true.
burning his
man.
iTunes up.
That's a great point. Great point. Here's another scenario. Okay, and this has to do with scientists coming up with these crazy thoughts, but very interesting. What's your thoughts on scientists saying that the world is getting overpopulated, and they think in the near future that they're going to start putting microchips in people to kill them off sooner? Sounds crazy.
It is.
Sounds insane.
It is.
But if you think about it, could be quite possible.
No.
No.
I think it could be possible. One thing that I'm noticing is people is actually starting the process. You see a lot of people getting these barcode tattoos.
Yes.
Like you're starting to get that. Like, that's not a fad, man. That's something that they're brainwashing people with, first of all. Second of all, the reality is if you want the world not to get overpopulated, you need to make people more responsible for their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not knocking anybody that needs it or anything like that, but people that's on the system to a certain extent,
Mm-hmm.
if you make them more responsible rather than applying just for paperwork and getting stuff paid for, if it was actually coming out of their own pocket, then they would be more mindful of more children they have. They'd be more mindful of the things they would use and the stuff they would consume. So the reality is, man, you gotta start from where it actually started from, not try to catch it at the end and start killing off innocent people.
Panel, hold your thoughts. We got to pause for the calls to pay some bills. You are now tuned in to Mars versus Venus. We'll be back in 2 and 2.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Our town, our TV. Amherst City Cable.
Welcome back to Mars versus Venus. I am your host with the most, What's in Store with Timor. And before we went off to break, we were talking about this scenario here. Case in point, what's your thoughts on scientists saying that the world is getting overpopulated and they think that in the near future they're going to start putting microchips in people to kill them off sooner? And Adrian was making some great points before we left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I don't. The whole microchips and dictating when people die.
Yeah.
That's altering creation and the creator to me.
Yeah.
And like I said, it needs to go back to the root of the issues. The let people be more responsible and put a mandate on people being more responsible as far as from production, rather than letting them produce and then trying to take care of that or trying to end that or shorten the life expectancy of people. Because the reality is, everybody starts out as a baby. Nobody asked to come here. You know what I mean? So who are we and who is the government or whoever going to be doing this? Who are we to say when somebody should die? Or it's too many people walking around? No.
What's your thoughts on it, Natasha?
I don't think it's right. That's giving our government way too much power. They already have enough as it is. And it is only overpopulated because of, lack of resources and, like them trying to get rid of Planned Parenthood and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How are the young teenagers that are out doing things that they, aren't responsible enough to handle going to get, contraceptive and stuff like that. They can't get it if it's not there,
Great point.
So, yeah, I don't think so.
What's your take on it, Josh?
I think it's terrible, but like that, honestly, like that's one of the reasons why, like me personally, I don't like getting shots, because like I don't know what's in that. They can tell me one thing, but they could still put tons of other stuff inside of what they're about to inject into me. So like, why would I want to put that? Especially because you never know.
That's very true.
I've never got a flu shot.
Yeah, I've never gotten a flu shot.
No.
I've never gotten a flu
Me
shot,
neither.
and I never get sick. Yeah, and I've never gotten the flu. Like I never really get
Seems
sick.
like everybody
But
I
then
know
you
that
see
got it got
people,
sick.
and then you see people who get the flu shot and they get sick. Now I understand. They put the flu shot, they put the flu back into you, and you're supposed to get sick, but why would you want to do that to yourself if you're not even going to get sick in the first
my kids
place?
don't get it
make
either.
You know what I mean?
I thought about that too.
And like they're right. Like the world is getting overpopulated. We're losing more resources. That's why you see all this deforestation and all this stuff, because we need more space to put people. But like at the same time, it comes at a certain point to where like why, like just let people live. Like you just gotta put regulations on things to try and decrease that, rather than do it yourself and let's just put all these microchips in and just start killing. Let's flip a switch and have like 50 people drop right now.
Are they going to roll dice? Pick a number? Like the draft?
Is it just like a number? Like, all right, everybody from, everyone in group 7 and 8.
Ends in 9.
All right, pull the plug.
What's your guys' take on some of the politicians? They want to start drug testing people who get assistance as far as food stamps or as far
I think
as,
it's a good idea.
Yeah.
We have to get drug tested for jobs.
Yeah, totally.
So I don't see why not.
Because there's people there. I feel like there's people out there that they waste that money that they're supposed to be using on other things, and that they shouldn't be using it on when they have children to feed, and they're struggling even more. But it's like you put yourself in that situation. So like I honestly think that there should be drug tests implemented when it comes to that kind of thing.
Now here's a twist to that question, and you guys are going to love this one. Say that the states that's passing these laws of marijuana usage, how do you guys feel about employers drug testing you for marijuana when it's legal to have in some of these states?
You still should be able to, because there's jobs that test for alcohol. You can't go to your job if you run a machine and be high. Yeah. You can't smoke a blunt before you walk into work and then run a machine and then you get your hand caught in there and lose your hand, and then are you going to use workman's comp? Why? You were the under influence. You won't be able to drive still. You can't drink and drive, and it's legal to drink. So I think it still should be implemented at work as well.
Or get behind the wheel of a school bus.
Yeah.
You got people's kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got other lives, and you have other people's responsibilities and lives at stake, man. When you take foolish or careless actions like that, and the thing is, if you don't want to get tested on, move to that state, the state where that stuff is legal, and you can consume it as much as you want to. But you start to take it into perspective, you're endangering your life and other people's when you do that.
I read somewhere in Colorado, they were making, I want to say, this is going to sound crazy, but I believe it was $100 million a month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they're making quite a bit.
They're making bank.
Yeah.
For real. They're
in revenue, tax revenue.
They're doing so much with it.
Slow it down. They're making $100 million a month on marijuana sales.
Yeah. And you want to know what they're doing? They're doing good stuff with that money too. They're building parks, they're building new schools, they're fixing their roads. Like they're doing great things with it.
Yeah, they're fixing stuff, but that's not taking $100 million a month. Fixing a park and redoing a school maybe take $100 million a year.
Exactly.
So the thing is, though, with that much money being made, it should be, if it's in the United States, it needs to be spread out throughout the United States. There should be no more people homeless.
Great point.
It should be hot meals 3 times a day served every day rather than once a month or the first of a month or once a week. But it's still, people's pockets are still getting lined, man. They do little things just to keep us occupied and feel that stuff is going on that's good. But then you got to look at the whole backside of it. You know, I hooked you up with this, so you got to take care of me now. So man, it's still, which is wonderful. The stuff that's getting done is good, but they could do so much more.
Oh yeah.
Here's a great segue to the second half of that question. How do you guys feel about the minimum wage issue? And what's your opinion? What do you feel is a fair wage for people who graduated high school, have families, and just trying to make it in the world? And you can look at it two ways. You know, you got people that all they wanted to do was graduate and didn't want to further their education. Then you have people that it's all about school. You know, they're getting bachelor's, master's, you know, the whole nine. What do you feel is a fair wage for people to live comfortably?
It's not the minimum wage now. No. Coming from someone who makes minimum wage like myself, like it's
so. What would be Josh's fair minimum wage?
Honestly, my fair minimum wage at least like $9.50. Like honestly, or like $9. I'd be happy with.
Wow.
Like it doesn't have to be like. I'm not saying it has. You know, it don't have to be no $10, $15. If you're a hard worker, which like if you're trying to work to make money and live, you should be willing to work hard and, you know, put in the hours that you need to make a paycheck. But like a starting off pay, like at least $9.50, I'd be happy with that. Honestly, for what it is now, that's a big boost. That's like almost a whole entire $1, and that'd make up a lot of a difference. Like honestly, like it really sucks. Like it's gotten a little bit better from like last year, I think it was, because they changed it like at the beginning of this year. Yeah. But it could still be more. Like it could be way more.
What's your thoughts, Natasha?
I think you need to look at what the cost of living is for just like a single person or a family of, you know, a married couple with 2 kids. If because minimum wage for one person is not going to be the same as for a family of 4.
Absolutely.
Like he could live off $9.50 because he doesn't have kids. But if you got a single family, dad's the only one working because mom's at home taking care of the kids, $9.50 is nothing.
So in Natasha's world, what would be a fair wage?
I'm a single mom, so I mean, I'm thinking between $10 and $12, depending on what the job is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like if I work at McDonald's, I should make $10, $12. But I mean, if it's a job where I, you know, because I went to culinary school and stuff like that, so my opinion is a little different because I have more education in certain areas. So I have more experience, so I should make more. It should be based on your experience as on what you make.
What's your take on it, Adrian?
So you went to like Crayola University?
Yup.
You said coloring school?
Don't say clown school as long as you don't say clown school. But good. Culinary.
Oh, okay.
I'm a chef.
Okay.
I can cook.
I believe it should be based on the financial demographic of that area.
Yeah.
The number of people you have living in your household. And your skill level, and if you have certification in anything. Because the reality is, you know, based on the demographic, I really don't know what the fair amount of minimum wage is. But one thing I can say is people go to school so they can make more money.
Absolutely.
So I say either raise the amount, the minimum wage, or lower the amount of universities. Because a lot of people are stuck making minimum wage because they can't afford to go to school.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
my opinion on that, on minimum wage, I feel as though you got to look at the cost of living. You got to look at the cost of produce, food, things of that nature. I went to the grocery store the other day and I seen some eggs for $5.55. I mean, that's completely insane.
No.
You know, you're looking at the price of milk. You know, we're talking dairy. You're looking at the price of beef. You know, meat. I honestly believe living in a major city, and we don't have resources to, unless you're out in Amish country or whatever. You know, those immediate resources to livestock and things of that nature. You know, living in Cleveland, I believe a fair minimum wage should be about $13. If you really look at it, and that doesn't. I don't care what's the size of your household. I think $13 is pretty fair, and that's not rich.
No.
You know, that's
Not
I
at
think
all.
that's a fair wage. At the end of the day, any parting shots you guys got before we get out of here?
I just want to send a shout out to my family, Javon Terrence. He's Lorain County's own.
Nice.
He has a boutique downtown Lorain. I got a sweatshirt on today. He just got back from overseas. He was invited to the Paris Fashion Show. Went out there and did his thing. I just wanted to shout him out and let everybody know, man, we got some major stuff going on in our county. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Latasha?
No, I'm good on this week.
Shout out to my moms, love you, because
Nice.
that's the reason.
free, it's me.
Yeah, if it's free, it's me, and that's the reason why I'm here right now.
That is classic. If it's free, it's me. Well, people, as I do about this time every show, always remember, if you're having fun, it gets late early. Check back with us next week. Thank you for watching another episode of Mars vs. Venus. Deuce.